I left the fan on. Hi, you. My name's Merrick, and we shot a dang movie. And I am so excited to tell you all about that. But first, we got to go back to the beginning. I got to tell you a little bit about how we got to this point, how we built up to shooting a whole dang movie for 6 days in the middle of Manistee, Michigan, and Portage Point, in Onekama, in all these wonderful places in the wonderful west coast of Michigan, in a spooky, spooky little hotel, and the wonderful experience that was. But before I do all that, I'm gonna go back a little bit to the beginning, because if this is your first time joining us here, or this is your first kind of update video, which it very well may be, because we have update videos that have been going out to the folks who were so kind, so generous to donate to help fund Make the Movie reality. And this is our first kind of public update video in a minute since that initial announcement video. So speaking of that initial announcement video, let me go back, and then I will talk a little bit about what it was actually like to shoot the movie. I'm going to talk a little bit about what people were excited about heading into the production of the movie, and then what people are excited about now, what people thought on set, challenges we faced, things like that. And don't worry, this won't be the only update video. I plan to talk a lot more very soon about all these things and more specific details, more specific things like what equipment did we choose? Talking a little bit more in depth with Cody Murphy, our cinematographer, or Kane Peterson, who created our score, or Isaac Tessman, who is an incredible props master aficionado and made an incredible list of props, just an absolute massive Excel document. He made short work of that. Or to Emma Wood, our producer, who has some incredible insights on how she was able to keep us on the rails during this harrowing, I hope not too harrowing, to be honest, but for the sake of drama, harrowing 6-day shoot. So before I get into all of that, before you hear from them, and before we make a bunch of other things, I'm gonna jump back a little bit. I wanna say, first of all, thank you so much to the folks who did donate to the campaign so far. If you haven't already, there's always time, well, not always, but there is still time as of when I'm recording this video, as of when I'm publishing this video. If you donate over $50, you'll get your name in the credits of the film. So that won't be going on forever, because at some point we have to, get picture lock and all those things. But right now, if you donate to the film, you donate over $50, you will have your name in the credits. There have been a wonderful amount of people who've done that so far, which blew well past our expectations. I thought we were going to get PB&J, maybe a crisp $2 bill. That was not the case. We had this wonderful outpouring of support that I never could have anticipated. And it was wonderful. Enable us to make the movie. So if you have donated, thank you so much for doing so. If you haven't, that's okay. If you share these videos, if you like these videos, if you subscribe, if you comment, all these things, if you share our campaign, if you buy merch, all of these things help us tremendously. And at the very least, I'm just happy that you're here right now, and it's wonderful to have you. And I'm excited because we got to shoot a dang movie. So going back to the beginning, a little bit more about that. We kicked off this whole thing publicly with an announcement video, I think back in July of 2025. You may have seen that, you may have not. That video was really fun. It was actually in the location where we were shooting the movie, which was a cool luxury that we had, that not a lot of productions have. Of course, I highly recommend that if you're kind of doing something similar to what we're doing. Our campaign was pretty unorthodox, but that's one thing I could feel confident recommending to other folks. If you're doing a campaign like this, like whether that's Kickstarter, Indiegogo, something more formal, I do really recommend it. It seemed to really resonate with people in a way that was super cool. So we were able to shoot this kind of announcement video and kind of pitch for fundraising in the location that we're actually gonna be filming the movie, which was pretty cool. I played a little scary, goofy, scary character in it. And it was pretty well received. We were very happy with it. Not only from, of course, the monetary perspective of people donating to help us make this dang movie, which was something we never really honestly anticipated happening, which was great. But also from the level of just like support and comments and stuff. And Of course, I had one person who actually said that the announcement video was so scary that they couldn't sit all the way through it, which was probably the biggest compliment that you could ever possibly hope to receive when you are trying to make a horror movie and you're trying to pitch people on this horror movie, and knowing like, well, this will probably resonate with people pretty strongly. So if you like that announcement video, I wouldn't say the vibes are quite the same, but hopefully it's much, much scarier than that. And yeah, so if you want to help support us there, again, if you donate over $50, you can get your name in the credits of the movie. That is not a thing that will be the case forever, because eventually we got to put those names in a thing and finish the movie. But for right now, as of me publishing this video, that is still the case. And there are other ways you can support us. Of course, merch, posters, liking, all that stuff that I already mentioned before. I won't go too into that. But that being said, the announcement video was a fundraising video as well, which is why I mentioned it. So, to make a short story long, essentially we released that video. We got this wonderful outpouring of support that essentially allowed us to not become completely financially insolvent in order to make the movie, which was good. We did not have to file for bankruptcy yet, which is always great. So that allowed us to actually get kind of a runway to filming this movie that we otherwise would not have had. There were things that certainly would not have been possible. We would have had to dramatically scale a lot of it back, and what that ultimately resulted in and will result in is a better movie at the end of the day. And in the background, we were working on the actual pre-production. So again, kind of talking about, like, to Isaac's point, or the point about Isaac, him just kind of knocking out this incredible, huge Excel sheet of 1,000,000,005 props. Emma helping to organize so much of the production and allowing us to stay on task when we did get on set. All those sorts of things, keeping us in a timetable. Cody and I working day and night, like the Kid Cudi song, on creating shot lists that we thought balanced the crazy ideas that I had in the script and what was actually achievable on set with the amount of time that we had, and the kind of schedule that we were looking at. Because 6 days, you know, if you're not super into film and stuff like that, can sound like a lot, but for a feature, 6 days is not very much at all. For instance, I think Halloween was shot in 14 days, and that was already considered like incredibly fast. That's like considered very, very fast for a feature. So 6 days is not a ton of time. And we tried to compensate for that basically the best we could throughout the pre-production process by really making sure all of our ducks were in a row. And I started myself trying to do, even before the pre-production process, the pre-production of what is the idea for this script? What is stuff that we, kind of stretches us out of our comfort zone, but is still within the realm of possibility for what kind of estimated budget we're working within, and things like that. And the location, like where are we going to be shooting this, things like that, that kind of inspired these ideas and allowed us to kind of work in a way that was a little bit more cost effective, which is cool. And I like to think as well, a large part of that was the talent of our crew, knowing how to take a little and turn it into a whole lot. So that kind of brings you up to date here. Where we're kind of at right now is in the editing phase. But speaking of the crew, I want to do something kind of fun and throw this video over to them for a little bit, because here's the thing. I did a few interviews with them before we actually started filming the movie. So you may have seen some of these from like our Instagram and things like that, but essentially sat down with them, recorded what they're most excited for, what is their kind of role on set, what are they kind of anticipating as far as challenges, things like that go. And I thought it would be really fun if we showed some of that now, what they're most excited for, things that they're anticipating being kind of challenging on set, stuff like that, and then did some follow-ups of how did this match to your expectations. I'll go ahead, I'll throw it over to them for a little bit, we'll come back, it'll be good. It'll be good and smart. So over to you, crew. show the first clip. Show the clip.
My name is Cody Murphy, and my role is cinematographer.
Hi everyone, my name is Emma, and I am the producer of The Complex.
My name is Isaac Testman, and I am doing a combination of prop work and audio engineering.
My name is Kane Peterson. I'm the composer for the film. I'm doing the soundtrack, the music.
So a cinematographer essentially takes the vision that the director has and puts it on film. It takes the vision through the camera. So very important for the film because you kind of need that for the movie to actually exist.
As producer, some of the things I help with include checking in on everyone else to make sure they don't need any help with their tasks. And if they do, I do what I can, or I point them in the right direction to others who can help them. I also help plan meetings, help run the meetings. I take notes and keep track of everything that we're doing, all of the tasks that we need to be doing, and make sure that everything is being completed in a timely manner. So everything is set and ready for once we start filming, and there are no hiccups along the way, although we can expect some hiccups every now and again. Also, as producer, I've been helping plan the logistics of how we're going to get our crew, our equipment, our props, everything to Manistee so we can start filming, which is very exciting, and it's going to happen in a few days. I'm so excited to see everyone and see it all come together.
A prop master is in charge of kind of cataloging all the props that would be used in the script. I went through the script and made a spreadsheet of every single, no matter how small, prop that you would see in the movie, and kind of made sure we had it in time for the movie, and did a lot of that type of organization. A prop master also creates props and kind of fabricates any sort of special effect. You'll get to see some pretty exciting body horror type imagery in this movie that I was excited to work on. An audio engineer is pretty pivotal in making sure that any dialogue or sound effects or background audio is picked up and registers correctly and is not too loud, too quiet. It's pretty important to the whole experience, especially such an atmospheric project like this.
They make the music for the film. It's pretty pivotal in terms of how the movie's going to turn out. It's like half of what you're experiencing when watching a movie. You're also listening to the movie, and the music can make or break how the tone, feeling of the entire film goes. So it's a pretty big part of it.
I know Merrick because I went to college with this guy, and long story short, a couple of years go by, and we see each other in the same major passing through the hallways a couple times, and lo and behold, he's my roommate eventually. So he's a good guy, you know. And we did a couple projects together, and we work well together, and yeah, it's been good time with this guy.
I met Merrick pretty early on in college and worked on a few projects with him there because we're in the same major. And even though I'm not currently working in the industry right now, I definitely was really excited to work with him again and get back involved in the arts.
I met Merrick in like the second grade. We hit it off pretty early on. We had a couple of similar interests, and well, we talked it over a drink, and he said he wanted to do this movie.
The thing that I'm most excited for with the complex is seeing it all come together at the end and seeing all the hard work pay off, as Kane has said. Kind of just seeing the culmination of all the things that we've done so far. And also just getting together and hanging out with a bunch of friends again that I haven't seen in a long time. So that's also going to be very exciting. As the director of photography, what excites me the most about the complex is the chance to do a low-budget horror film, because they're kind of wacky, and you get to break some rules and stuff, and it's going to be cool.
Besides seeing all my friends, in one place, in person. I am probably most excited to see Merrick give some very intense monologues. No spoilers or anything, but there are some intense moments in the script where there's going to be some yelling, there's going to be some screaming, and on top of that, there's probably going to be some goo. So to see Merrick in some goo, screaming at the top of his lungs, that's going to be good. That's going to be very fun to watch. I'm also excited to see all the props that Isaac has been working on. He's been sending us some pictures here and there, and I'm excited to see those come together. As the producer, I'm most excited to just see everything come together. We've been communicating over FaceTime calls and texts and group chats, and to see it all in person is going to be very exciting and a relief to know that we have all worked very hard the past few months to get to this point.
I was really excited to kind of come back to Michigan, which is my home state, and bring the arts to that region of Michigan specifically. It's always cool to be involved in something that's local and close to home. I'm excited to work on the audio for this film because I've never worked on something quite this experimental sonically. It's cool to have overlapping sonic textures, and it's just something cool that I haven't gotten the chance to do yet.
The thing I'm most excited about the complex is when we get to all watch it and see our hard work pay off. As a composer, I'm most excited about hopefully hearing some of my music shake a room.
My favorite horror movie is probably a toss-up between a few, but most recently, it probably has to go to The Witch by Robert Eggers. Very good movie, looks incredible, and it really just puts you... He does a really good job of capturing a very specific period of time.
So my favorite horror movie, I think I'll do a top 4, including the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, classic, and then I'll throw in The Demon from 1963, which is like an Italian folk horror. Very good, I think very underrated. And then Lake Mungo from 2008, which is a found footage documentary movie. And a more recent one, probably Skinamarink. I really like horror movies that let the dread sink into your skin and you can just feel your anxiety rising. Those are my favorite type of horror movies.
My favorite horror movie right now is Videodrome by David Cronenberg. It's a classic.
My favorite horror movie might be Slumber Party Massacre.
So there you have it. I'm going to save my thoughts a little bit for probably the next update because I have already talked a lot in this video and it's probably running a little bit long for a kind of standard update video. We've covered a decent amount of ground. I tend to ramble a little bit. So I'll probably save my thoughts of like what on the actual production, even though I touched on them in this video, for another video. And I'll give a quick kind of progress update report. I talked about this a little bit earlier in the video, but I also have a very special announcement. So if you stuck with us this far, you'll probably want to stick to the end for that special announcement. That being said, we are in the editing phase. Cue really cool graphic over here. Really awesome graphic, editor Merrick. You got this. I believe in your ability to put a graphic right here, not in a different area, right here. This is the perfect spot for a graphic. So, that being said, what occurs after you shoot a dang movie? I mean, does it just magically appear in theaters? I freaking wish, but no, editing is a major part of it. And again, we are a small production, and so a lot of that is stuff that I'm doing. I have made some great progress so far. I wouldn't say we're, like 2 days away from releasing or anything crazy like that. You'll know when we have a release date. You'll know when we're ramping up towards what that release looks like, because we're still figuring parts of that out and exactly how we want to roll out the film. But that being said, we have made some pretty substantial progress. It's gone quite a bit from the day that we wrapped, where it was just all a bunch of footage on hard drives and stuff, and I was terrified that we were going to lose it or something, to being fully ingested, fully in my DaVinci Resolve Studio timeline. No kind of heinous major hiccups in that editing process, but it is something that takes quite a bit of time. It's very labor intensive, and it's something that I quite enjoy doing because it means that I can look at the movie, I can look at parts of the movie, and I can go, wow, this looks like a dang movie. Just like that one interview with Harry Styles where he says his favorite thing about the movie is that it feels like a movie. And I think about that a lot when I'm watching the footage for this, which sounds so silly and kind of elementary, I guess, as like a, oh wow, this really feels like a movie. But it's true, and I hope that when it does come out, people feel the same way, and I'm confident that people like yourself will hopefully look at it and think the same thing. So that being said, we are deep in the editing process. Again, I just want to say, if you do donate to our campaign, there are still plenty of costs that we need to hopefully recoup for filming this film, but also costs that you kind of generate in post-production. So things like licensing sound effects. If we choose to do that, that can be pretty expensive. Things like licensing add-ons and software to build out our editing suite, things like that. Things like festival submissions, all that good stuff is all pretty pricey. So if you feel like getting your name in the credits, that is not going to be there forever. That's not going to be a thing for forever. I'm not going to say it's going to go away tomorrow, because it's not, but it's not going to be there forever. So if you want to get your name in the credits, you want to support us, that is the best way to do it. And things like sharing the videos, liking the videos, leaving comments, all that good stuff really, really helps us. That being said, I promised you a very special surprise for waiting to the end of this video, and I did not lie or forget, despite the fact that I am bad at staying on task. But what is that special surprise? Do you really want to know? Yes? Okay. In that case, I'll tell you. The surprise is that we are releasing a newsletter. That's right. If you've been donating, or if you have donated in the past, you have already been receiving a very similar newsletter, but we're going to start opening it up. We're going to make this newsletter more public. Folks who have donated, you're going to get you got those exclusive updates, but you're also going to get them, for the most part, a little bit earlier, much like this video, which you got a little bit earlier. And that's kind of a little, unspoken perk of, donating as well, is you'll get these updates a little bit earlier than everybody else. So sign up to that newsletter. If you want to get those updates earlier, you want to get your name in the credits, please feel free to donate to the campaign, and it'll make me so happy that I won't cry. But that being said, that newsletter will have lots of updates moving forward. It'll have little things, it'll have big things, hopefully. We don't want to spam your inbox too much, so we don't send them out very frequently, but we try to make sure that they're relatively comprehensive when we do send them out. And I'm saying it's mostly just me that works on the newsletters. I kind of just, I do them when I have the bandwidth. But yeah, we try and release those every so often. So if you're looking for things that likely will never be, in these videos, or will never be in kind of our main feed and stuff like that, behind the scenes things, behind the scenes pictures, updates, again, early announcements and stuff like that, you're going to want to sign up for that newsletter because it's going to be pretty cool. So if you want to hear more about the complex, that's your best way to do it. And until the next video, until the next newsletter, until the next update, I'll say thank you so much for watching. And in the next video, we'll talk a little bit more about all sorts of things as they relate to the production. We'll see exactly what in that video, but stay tuned for more updates as always. And again, if you want to help support us, please, even just leaving a dang comment. I'm on my hands and knees, I'm begging here, okay? I know it sounds a little silly, but they really do make a difference. There was a video that I posted a few years ago. I kind of, not rhetorically, but I sort of asked people to comment their thoughts. What did they think about the topic and things like that? And it measurably impacted that video to the point where not only did I get a lot of really cool, insightful comments, so I always really encourage people to comment on videos because I obviously read everything, but it also helped that video's reach and performance in ways that are upsettingly important and necessary. And also, again, just on a selfish level, I do really like having the comments because it means I can reply to them, I can see what people are thinking. And so please feel free to comment. Liking and subscribing is whatever. Comments are really wonderful because it gives me something to read when I am at the store. All right, I'll see you in the next update video. Thank you so much, and talk to you then. Bye-bye.